Good morning. Today I'm going to be presenting to this board a proposal to do research on teacher retention on a small sample of teachers in the United States school system. So let's get started. Thank you all for being here today. And here we go. Let me get my slides up. All right. So teacher retention. We all know that it's an issue. We have no luck when it comes to preserving long-term teachers. Now there are those who do stay, who are told the work you do is so important and their moral drive is what keeps them. But what you'll see throughout this presentation is that that is not enough. And the people who suffer the most from this are, you guessed it, students. So I've chosen to investigate the challenge of teacher retention. This is a moral dilemma for me personally, so it will be quite interesting to explore the reasons why teachers don't stay. And while I am personally invested, I will be as professional and removed as possible with a team behind me so I can delegate. So that's sort of what I'm asking you for today, is the ability to form a team so that I can put my passion behind this without being on the ground and getting too involved, because we know with qualitative research that can be an issue. Now, the research questions I have there are 5. First, what are the top 3 things that teachers like to see in their work environment? This will be a qualitative and quantitative study. We'll start with a survey. We'll talk to teachers and figure out what those things are. We'll compile a list, grab the top 3 things, and collect data on a larger scale of teachers who agree with those top 3 things that they like to see. Now, the next 2 research questions are, what is the salary outline for extending their professional development? And do pay scales reflect reward for developing one's own professional skills? This will be done through looking at existing documents, existing pay scales, if they exist. If they don't, that's an issue. Are there incentives for teachers to further their professional development? Will their salary increase? Will they get bonuses when they become better at their job? From the research I've done, it shows that that is not happening. And if it is, the reward is very low. Compensation, I should say. Continuing on with research questions 4 and 5, what are the top 3 deterrents for staying at your current place of employment? This will be done through survey, starting with a qualitative approach and eventually compiling data on the top 3 things from a larger pool. Probably end up with 10 responses of deterrents, that's my guess, and narrow it down to 3. Okay? Finally, is doing a wholesome job, like being called a hero, is that enough to keep you employed, even if your salary is barely livable? This will be done through a journal. We will ask teachers this exact question. They can respond in a written or oral format. We will review their responses. Then we will do a qualitative question with a yes or no answer to the question, is doing a wholesome job enough to keep you employed even if your salary is low? So we will have data, yes or no, as well as journals on why they answered the way that they did. Some final thoughts here today will come after the existing research I have. So the existing research I have, the first source is an article you'll see by McLaurin. It explores the reasons behind a lack of teacher retention, specifically in areas of poverty. The second article by Joseph Ebhard aims to see which human characteristics were the most common in teachers who left the profession or school. This one is very interesting. So a lot of this is connected to the types of people who choose not to continue. The third article by Julius Ronald and Edwin Navarro touches on the stats, the data behind retentions for education teachers. plan to use this because I really believe it gets to the heart of the problem. My hypothesis is as follows. The research I have done will suggest that the top 3 deterrents are being assigned work that was not in their contract and job description. Number 2, not being paid adequately for their services. And number 3, not being encouraged or incentivized to further their own education. My final thoughts are as follows. This research project will attempt to flesh out the assumptions I have about what causes a teacher to leave their school and even the profession as a whole. The issue at hand is that the system is flawed, of course, but the goal of this research is to pinpoint specific areas of discontent. By identifying these things, leadership and administration can refer to this research as a starting point when teachers voice their consent. They will have measured data to go on and specific areas of improvement to act on. This project takes the arbitrary dissatisfaction of teachers into a world of actionable items for admin. So, with your help, we will do this research and be able to help admin. Believe it or not, when we help admin, we help teachers. And that is how our system works today. Thank you for your time, and that is my proposal for a teacher retention research project. Thank you. And if you have any questions, you know where to reach me.